Alright, guys, we are back in semi-finals of Kampar versus Sungai Long Cup. So before we start, we would like to give a shout out to Maximum Cyber Cafe and Give Internet Cafe for organizing what a wonderful match. It's actually what they intend to do is actually to organize tournaments for students from Kampar and Sungai Long campus. At this stage, we will just shows on the bracket phase. Let's head back to the game as we continue to cast the game of semi-finals of Kampar versus Sungai Long, and this is definitely teams from Sungai Long. Alright, so now let's go back to the game, and we first of all we have already going into the ban pick moment, and both teams they ban out. I didn't watch the previous game, but they ban up heroes like Bloodseeker, Invoker, which shows that they are really afraid of early game and aggressive play. And while Team Dire, they ban out heroes like Ursar, Undying, all these aggressive heroes as well. So they pick up the X, which appears to be picked by other team, the Kampar team on the previous match. So X is still seems like a very popular matchup or very popular pick up in this tournament. And we have Crystal Maiden, Tiny, while on the Team Radiant you have Silencer and Vengeful. So this match is very important for both teams because whoever wins proceed to the finals and they get to play one match against teams coming from Kampar. And as you know, this is definitely a battle of fame. So whoever you are rooting for, please tell us and share to us. Or you have any ideas on the lineups that you wish to see, please feel free to share to us. So for now, a Terrorblade, a very famous pickup in a recent tournament, has been picked up by Lapar Esports. But of course, I kinda doubt its sustainability for this match because Tiny and X, they are really huge burst damage. And Terrorblade, as we know, without the Dragon Lance, the HP is probably less than 1000. So it's too easy to be being, burst up and just evaporate in the middle of war. Even before, he uses his Metamorphosis. Or probably even before he uses up the Sunder. So both teams are considered equal. At this part, we have Silencer to protect against the Terrorblade, and we have Vengeful Spirit to swap against the Terrorblade. So far, everything is still works pretty much fine. Both teams are now thinking what else to pick. We both teams revealed one of their cores at least, and Lapar already revealed 2 of their supports. So I believe Xavier now wanted to pick up another support that could go counter against Terrorblade. I mean, Winter is fine. You can go heroes like Shadow Demon. You can go hero like Winter Wyvern. I mean, all these works kind of perfectly fine against Terrorblade. Or
Radiant team pick.
Let's see what's it. Oh, it's a Faceless Void. That means they leave the support to the last, or who knows, probably Tiny could be a support. 20 seconds left on the pickup. And Nigmar, a bold pick, a very courageous decision indeed. And Nigmar, with the Silencer, you blinks inside with the black hole. Nobody's able to stop you. Very interesting pick, I believe. normally people
10
combo
seconds
silencer and meeple because of you know, when you jumps inside, when you
5
initiate, nobody can
seconds
stop you. But in fact, they take up with silencer instead of being let off. I mean, it could be because they are afraid that opponent take it,
Radiant
or
team
they could
ban.
also take it themselves because they wanted to utilize the black hole. I mean, if that's the case, you don't even need a BKB Enigma. You just get a blink dagger, you just blink inside with the black hole. It catches at least 3 with the midnight powers. Definitely, that's a GG for them. So
Radiant team pick.
interesting pick, I would say. Finally, we get to observe, we get to see a black hole in this tournament, because sometimes people are playing quite safe here, so they won't go for fancy combo, they won't go for the Enigma or even the Tide Hunter Ravish or even Magnus RP. But surprisingly, Lapar Esports, they dare to take this, they just go for the Enigma.
10 seconds remaining.
We don't hope for a really big play, but at least it is a
5 seconds
play.
remaining.
It is entertaining for us as you know, a spectator to watch. So now 1 minute left in the extra time, final minute that will decide whether they advance to the grand final or their journey stops here. At the same time, I can also explain a little bit. So this tournament is organized by Maximum Cyber Cafe from East Lake,
Dire
Kampar,
team pick.
and
Tinker!
the Gift Internet Cafe by Sungalong. So obviously these two cafes are actually located very near to University Tunku Abdul Rahman. And what they wanted to do was to provide an exposure for these students to compete against each other to see which campus actually comes out with better player. And as I know, a few years ago, it was actually
10
Sungalong
seconds
who is
remaining.
leading. And then a few years back, it goes back to Kampar. And now,
5 seconds remaining.
finally after a few years, there is this tournament once again. And
Select
now,
winners.
finally, the 5 final lineup has appeared. We have Silencer, Vengeful Spirit, Terrorblade, and Nigmar and Tinker. And on the other hand, it was X, Crystal Maiden, Tiny, Faces Void, and Outwarden. And I believe X Chin Dota King was kind of familiar name. You know, when I play rank, I even met him as well. Yeah, I know of his name, was one of the person in the leaderboard previously. But well, we know that Dota is a team game. Who knows? Team Lapar can actually comes up, strive through. They don't care. They just march through, and who knows? They can pierce through as well and
10
become
seconds remaining.
the champion of Sungailong. But of course, no matter how,
5 seconds
the
remaining.
champion is just temporary because you still need to compete against a team in the final with a team from Kampar. So let's see. For now, I believe it's an Enigma off lane, Tinker mid, Terribly safe lane with Silencer and Vengeful Spirit. Vengeful probably roaming around. We have, I could say it's probably Outwater mid against the Tinker. We have Void as a safe lane. We have X off lane, and Crystal Maiden and Tiny as a support. But anything is possible. They could even probably rotate Faceless Void and put X against the Enigma because X can kill the Eidolon easily. So it can just prevent Enigma from farming quick. So up to this stage, everything is possible. So stay tuned for the semi-final.
Your talents surpass your level.
Okay. That's so up to this stage. Alright. We can press some tips. Okay. Go when ready. Let's go as this begins the semi-finals of Kampar versus Sungailong Cup. And here I am. I'm actually in GIF Internet Cafe in Sungailong. So the atmosphere is quite good as well. You can see people are in a hype, enjoying games. So now let's proceed. Apparently it's a Nigmar that followed by a Silencer, and Faceless Void still goes for the safe lane with Crystal Maiden, but instead we have a Tiny with an X. Quite interesting. Tiny, you can toast the X in the front. You just toast to the face of the Terrorblade. And Vengeful Spirit and Terrorblade, these two in my opinion, it's not really strong against X because number one, X is quite tanky. As you can see, both of them they are too soft. It's only like 500 HP. Okay, that's the first part. As and hold on, I think that we probably.
Thirty seconds to battle.
Hello? Okay. Okay, so 20 seconds left to the game. Who comes out as the champion of Sungailong? Team Lapar or Team Xavier? Bottom lane, standing on the high ground was Tiny and X. I think they will want to compete for this bounty rune, and Terrorblade don't seems like wanted to compete against. That would just be a free rune
The
for
battle begins.
Team Dire. Oh, sorry, comes out from the Terrorblade. So it's actually 3 bounty rune goes favor against the Team Dire. You see, they are just laughing. It's like their strategy works. They just casually harassing. It's also due to the lineup as well. I mean, like if you're a Terrorblade player, why would you risk it against the X and the Tiny? Okay, so the game is paused at the moment. Tiny picks up the third skill instead. It's not the toss first. It's the third skill with the tree throw. I'm kind of pity Tiny sometimes. You see, it's like his body is so small size, and you have to force to carry all these big size trees, trunks. But it's still just game. Why so serious, right? Okay. Silencer just managed to get 1 rune, but Enigma is already on the lane, waiting to deny the creeps. Somebody just remind him to. You know. Somebody remind him to deny the range creep. I think that would be more. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Oh, and yes, I think we have a banner on our behind of us. Yes, we have. Okay. 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 Good luck. Good luck. Have fun. Come on, man. Start the game. Come. Okay. 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 So Crystal Maiden, they already gets its skill up, and what is TT? Okay, Action Dota King still yet to raise his skill point. Anzai playing what? Okay. Okay. Conversation ongoing between the players. I believe they all know each other. So go when ready, and yes, that's the game as it commands. So now officially started for the semi-finals. Up Warden, he blocks the creeps. He let 1 melee creeps goes to the front. While Tinker just wanted to block everything. No, he also let go 1 melee creeps. Kind of good strategy. Let the creeps goes in front, because whoever goes to the front first, first thing, your creeps gonna die. But one good thing is that Tinker actually blinds up the Arc Warden, and he gets the creeps on the high ground. But no, Arc Warden managed to push back on his own high ground. Alright. And meanwhile, Enigma managed to deny the range creeps. Yep, it's only his alone. No, Silencer is here. They know what Enigma is good at, so they just wanted to kill out his Edelon before it multiply. And Silencer casually harassing the Crystal Maiden. Meanwhile, middle lane. Wow, Tinker already did quite some damage, and both of them is already in the half HP. Wow, wonderful play. And X, he knows that Terrorblade cannot do anything with it, and the BS only have like very low range That's why Chalk as an X decided to just goes behind them and to cut off the creep wave. And Terrorblade now will be having a serious problem. Tiny, they wanted to go for the Ranger for speed, and Metamorphosis uses to kill off the creep wave. He knows that if he doesn't use his third skill, his damage is too low to secure all the CS. And meanwhile, top lane, the creep wave goes back to the team tower already. So everything is still safe in terms of Radiant side, because as long as they can control the creep wave under the tower, yep, there won't be any risk for them. And X just decided to go faster so that the hero could not just come in front and to harass him anymore. And Vengeful Spirit and the Terrorblade just tanking all the towers and the creep's damage. They couldn't do anything. They can only help the Terrorblade to secure the CS to not make the situation worse. But Terrorblade don't have any Killing Blade. Oh my god, what is happening? The tiny avalanches and 3 throw. But it's just last hit. Not able to secure the kills yet. Yes. Vengeful Spirit TP back to safety, and top lane they tries to guess on the silencer, but no. Just casual harassing as usual. Top lane will not be seeing any blood at the meantime, and Terrorblade suffering a little bit because he doesn't get his Quilling Blade in the moment. And Tiny still decided to pull off the creep wave. What is happening? Terrorblade is already suffering, but instead they just make the situation even tougher. So what can a VS do in the moment? He just decided to smoke up because he wanted to place up the Observer Ward without getting noticed. And a Crystal Maiden wanted to go for the... What is this? I think the Sentry Ward is just barely out of his lane. And Chalk just kills off first blade on the Terrorblade. I'm so sorry we missed out the watch, but okay, middle lane. The smoke and the stun. He wanted to kill up the Outwarden, but the Fairy Fire will save him. And unfortunately, you can see this Sentry Ward is just barely out of range. He's not able to deward, and the creep wave, therefore the creep will not spawn, and they will not able to pull back the creep wave back to their tower. Meanwhile, the middle lane, Outwarden,
Dire are scanning.
okay, what he's doing, yes, the south is already on the way. The Tinker not able to secure the Q, and the Terrorblade goes down once again. Bottom lane is now turns up to be a disaster. They're just diving, and now CM is in deep danger, and he will goes down 2 for 1. Sorry, the score is actually 1-2 now in favor of Team Dire. But it was Terrorblade who is the one who died twice in this game, while top lane is only a Crystal Maiden. So nothing big deal in the meantime. X, if this goes on, I think X is going to get probably like you know, 6 minutes Blink Dagger if he doesn't want to go for the Vanguard. And Terrorblade suffering so hard, and now the Tiny even spotting up. He's going to hit him with the tree. No, he just wants to kills up the creeps. He don't want to leave any single creeps for the Terrorblade. What is this? Terrorblade is already suffering in terms of CS. He can't even get the EXP. It is very sad indeed. Yes, the second sentry managed the ward. I don't think it's really that worth it, because the ward itself is going to expire in probably 1 or 2 minutes, but he's very crucial. And now with the smoke out, Vengeful Spirit, he wants to go for this kill. The stun, the skill, and the fire and the missile. He will get the kill. And what a nice rotation. In the meantime, Terrorblade goes down another time. Well, I think this Terrorblade, it will completely
This'll come in handy.
he really needs some time
Radiant's
to recover.
bottom tower
He's
is
really
under
in
attack.
great danger now.
What?
Yup, his lane just collapsed totally. He couldn't do shit now. Oh, and Tinker activates on his Invi rune just on time, but no! 7 HP remaining! Wow!
Radiant's bottom
That's
tower is under
really
attack.
close. And now Vengeful Spirit just comes in front. Well, Tinker just hiding, and Tiny, nope. The avalanche just hits on it, the tree trunk, the stun, Tinker with the staff, the first skill, the missile, not able to land on the laser. So now, nothing happens. Luckily, the Tinker comes on time with the missile, scares them away. And bottom lane, X is already 2.7k. What is this game? My god. X itself, they're already like 2.9k.
Radiant's bottom
And
tower
Tiny
has
managed
fallen.
to kills on The Vengeful Spirit. Tinker in great danger. The rotation from Crystal Maiden is close. Toes on the Tiny. Toes to the CM. And the missile. What is this? Oh my god, this Tiny. Toes on the Crystal Maiden to make him the sacrificial lamb. And this Terrorblade. Level 4 at 6 minute mark. But he knows that he requires a lot of space, and the X runs to the back with the haste rune. The call, the better hunger. He wants this kill so hard. The haste rune is still there, and last hit, the Majesty as well. He wants us to come up with the killing blade. Will he get it? And he won't get it as well. What a nice dunk. Truly pity this Terrorblade. 4 level, dies 4 times already. Vanguard pick up by X first. It will not slow down his time on the Blink Dagger, and meanwhile top lane, he wants this Enigma so hard, this Enigma level 6, but he will go down with the stun toes coming out from the Tiny. So 3 to 6 at the meantime. Arc Warden casually being harassed by middle, but everything still seems to be fine. If you look at the net worth, it was X who is leading by truly a lot. Leading in a significant way, and we have Enigma farming comes to second, and then the Void as a safe lane, and Tinker. And now X are, I think he's going into, a little bit too deep, but he just doesn't care. He just plays around with the 2 support, but wouldn't there be any rotation here to place around? Oh my god, that would be a dunk! No, the stun comes on time before he managed to do the dunk, but the better hunger, he will get the dunk. Oh no! The spin itself is sufficient to kill, and the immediate TP comes on time, and no! Not able to get on the kill. The punishment that he deserved will not be able to obtain. So far 3 to 7. I think Dyer is really leading in terms of 4,000 gold. Just Arc Warden barely able to farm, but despite dying 1 or 2 times, the network is still similar to Tinker. So X, I believe, will be the guy who brings up the momentum for this game. He's already like 100 gold away from the Blink Dagger. This situation could only gone worse, because Silencer level 5, you need the level 6, Enigma, you have the Black Hole, but you don't have the Midnight Pulse yet, so the damage is not yet enough. Tinker, you need to farm your boost of travel. Everything is about farm, and then the worst of all, the Terrorblade itself, it's only level 5. Okay, top lane, seems like they wanted to take this fight, trying to bait out, but nope, the Silencer is here to protect the Enigma, to prevent one of his fattest core, the top leading network core in their team to suffer. And now X, it's already 2.3k. Team Dyer smoke up in the middle. They wanted to go for the hunt. They wanted to hunt this Tinker, and will they get it? The South is being activated, and it runs to the jungle. The smokes reveal the knows that somebody's up, but the Tinker knows also that somebody's here for his ass, and he just runs away. But now the slow from the CM, and he goes up. That would be a surprise. It's a Terrorblade. No, and the X comes in the front, managed to do the call, doing a lot of damage, and the dunk. No, that's not even a dunk. And it goes back to the Terrorblade as well. They want the Terrorblade together. The Tiny will go down for with the Metamorphosis, and now the Better Hunger hits on the Terrorblade. I believe this is another dead Terrorblade. He just plays around, running him in the jungle, getting the vision he needed. No, the Global Silence comes on the time, and the Midnight Pulse. The one is so high in the Black Hole. Well, he gets the kill. A Black Hole and a Global Silence committed just to save this Terrorblade. I believe he's worth it. It's definitely worth it. Just 2 hero down. They still get 1k from that war. What is this? 1,000 gold in that fight just because of 2 hero dead, but they managed to place down an observer ward, so I believe this is a round of surprise. And Crystal Maiden being spotted out. Yes, Crystal Maiden is again the sacrificial lamb. The Tiny wanted to save, become the backup, the avalanches that can prevent enemy from going closer. The damage is not enough to scale the kill. The double damage Tiny will harass back on the Tiny, the VS. So Battle Hunger comes again. The blink misses up the call. Immediate TP, knowing that the X don't have any calls left. And the illusion block, what a wonderful play. Better Hunger comes close, and the Blink Dagger is already in cooldown. But the kid, the toss, yep, just a very easy kill. So 5-9. Team
Radiant's
Dire
top
at this
tower is under
time
attack.
will be the first one to achieve top 10 kill. Enigma goes back to his lane after using the black hole in his rotation. Very wise decision. Goes back to continue his farm. I'm kind of surprised at Enigma though. He decided to farm out the magic one first, the soul ring, and then the ring of Basilius before decided to going up for the hand of Midas.
Radiant's
Middle lane,
middle tower has
another
fallen.
smoke. They wanted the Arc Warden so hard. The hand of Midas just completed, and he will
Radiant's
go
bottom
down once
tower
again.
is under attack.
8 intelligence added up onto the pockets of Silencer. But bottom lane is already seems to be going
Radiant
down.
structures are fortified.
Um,
Radiant's bottom tower
the second
is under
T2 of
attack.
bottom lane. Crystal Maiden rotating from behind. Okay, they wanted this Tinker. This is a dead Tinker.
Dire
Chrono Spear
structures
committed,
are
and the Frostbite not even required to be used. Tinker will goes down.
Radiant's bottom tower has
Void
fallen.
managed to secure the kill, and bottom finally goes down. At this moment, only in 12-minute marks, Team Dire is already leading close to 10k of net worth. The only thing they could do is to wait for this Tinker to farm off his boost of travel. I believe he's still quite far from it because at the first place he wanted to prioritize on the killing. That's why he maxed up the first laser and he maxed up the hit missile. Both of them
Dire's
already
top
up
tower is
to
under attack.
they use up 6 skill point. So only March that comes
Dire
on
are
2
scanning.
skill points. X, 3 of them wanted to go for some hanky-panky deal. They wanted to go for the small, and they want to see whichever corner they can see. And yeah, they saw 2 people. They were blinks into the middle, but not able to go back. Comes up with the call. Tiny comes from the back. Toss on the Enigma to the X, and the Midnight Vow is being committed. But the dunk will go down as well. Yes, he will kill, but the CM will pay for the prize, and now they will go for another kill after getting the dunk, and one more dunk, double kill. Terrorblade comes from the behind. They knows that they can go for this war. Probably because both of them are already, you know, in the mid HP. No Chrono Spear. Middle lane, Arc Warden. Plays down the Observer Ward. He
Radiant's
wants
top
Tinker
tower is
kill,
under
and
attack.
Tinker knows something is up because of this Observer Ward that managed to save him from getting a solo kill. Because if Tinker faces Arc Warden alone, definitely it's a solo kill. And now Terrorblade
Radiant's top tower
Um,
has fallen.
not even completed his boost of travel yet. At this point, a lot of our Observer Ward are being placed aggressively because Team Dire already know that they got the advantage, they got the momentum. They should just keep it on. They don't need to farm anymore. Indeed, they just, you see, even with this X, what a significant lead. It's only at 40-minute marks. You have a Vanguard, Blade Mill, and Dagger. Oh, he actually sells off his Vanguard. Blade Mill, because he wanted to go for the Shadow Blade so that he can catch more. And as you can see at this point, all of the Team Dire is just playing around at the area of Team Radiant because they know that they don't need
Pour on the speed.
any farm anymore. Oh, Tinker, TP's back, but the Avalanche and the Frostbite will catch on him with the Observer Ward being spotted up.
Take much more
And
of this.
what is this? Okay. Let's see. Okay, so at the meantime, X blinks in front. Just wanted to clear up the creeps. Midnight Pulse and the male face being committed, but not able to triggers any kills. And X comes up with the Shadow Blade already. They wanted to catch on already. They don't want to go front. They wanted to catch because they know that Team Radiant is always constantly hiding. Tinker still barely able to get on the boost of travel. Oh, so sad.
Radiant are scanning.
You see, despite losing so much in the beginning, Arc Warden managed to recover from the farms, and it's already 2 times the network of Tinker. And Tiny, he also has a blink already. What is this game? They don't have the blink yet, but 1 more second, the toss, and the global silence! Oh, and now immediate rotation by all of them, the male face as well. The black hole connects on the Tiny as well. Wonderful rotation. 2-person getting punished for the dive that they committed. And same thing two of them that dies again. But for that, they committed Black Hole. They committed for the Global Silence. It's definitely worth it. 1 war, 1,000. But one thing is, Team Radiant, they need to really, boost up on their farm, because at this point, their hero can only goes on committed for the team fight, but they couldn't really do on a personal, like they cannot catch on any single hero alone. They need to fight on 5, and because of that, you can see Team Dire is already going aggressively, especially with the Shadow Blade. They don't need to just fight, they just catch enough. And any one of them, they can just catch any of their hero. Like you can see, Faceless Void, they can just chrono and kill one support. Crystal Maiden and Tiny, they can just burst on one core. So both teams are now playing around. Tinker finally getting the boost of travel. The first thing he needs to do is to get on his Soul Ring first, so that he can speed up his farming. And X found on the Tarot Blade, and is that a surprise? The hits and the call, the better hunger, and no, the thunder not even comes on time. The dung world goes out.
Good day, sir.
Bottom, middle lane. Tiny just goes down because of the sentry, probably because he dives quite deep. Okay, so Tiny, I'm kind of surprised actually. Like at 70-minute marks, you get your Blink Dagger. But come on, look at your levels. You're only level 6. I mean, what actually happened here? I don't really understand. Like, you have the dagger. X is like 2 times the level, and you only level 6. And Crystal Maiden, he founds on the Vengeful Spirit. So I believe it's another dead support, and Silencer will goes down. Oh, I am not really sure what am I watching here, but it's starting to really become a one-sided game once again. The only thing that they could hope on is on this Tinker to try to march, to defend the tower, at least slow down the momentum. But the Arc Warden just couldn't slow down. They are just constantly farming faster and faster. What is this? This is absolutely unacceptable. Hell. And if you can see, Team Dire, they are just playing around in the Team Radiant base.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Team Radiant, they are trying to go for the mecha first. It's not even a dagger, because he knows that there are too many Shadow Blade. You can't really catch on all. The only thing you can do is to sustain for your team. Middle lane is everybody wandering around with the mecha completed, and now X pushing out the bottom lane, and top lane faces Void without chrono. He might able to see on the Faceless Void, but nope. Both of them just run away from each other. Two cores evading each other, and the smoke finally pops out. And yes, I'm kind of put my voice a little bit softer because they are actually just beside me. Probably they could know and listen from what I mentioned. Bottom lane, you have the X with the Shadow Blade trying to catch people once again, and top lane camps around Tarot Blade, hoping that this could become a bait. Will they fall for it? I don't think so, because Team Radiant, Team Dire, they are all of them. They are already at the middle. Yeah. In fact, they are the one who needs to defend. Tarot Blade finally so happy getting their first tower of the game. And Team Dire is already getting a more beneficial trade, because they goes for the middle, and they know that Team Radiant, they have to go for this defend. They need to defend. They need to defend this tower, or the next part is going to be the high ground. But Team Dire is already camping around so near. Oh, I think the best part is because of this observer ward. They managed to spot it out all of the team movement. So meanwhile, Team Radiant knows that if they will to commit, they will know which angle to go inside. In fact, I would say this is a very interesting defensive ward being placed out. But no matter how, it couldn't change the fate that the T2 of middle world goes down. So this is going to just escalate their farms. Everybody hiding in their base. Team Dai is already leading 15,000, and they get the double damage. Yes, I believe it's the Roshan. What else can Team Radiant do? Seriously, at this point, there's nothing much. Besides Enigma, yep, unless they can blend out, you know, a Blink Dagger with a 5-man black hole, or else, yep, nothing will be enough. So the
Roshan
Void
has fallen
getting
to the
the Aegis of the Immortal. Terrorblade wanted to recover so hard from the farm, but it's a little bit too late because they are 2 times slower compared to the opponent hero. With the Aegis of the Immortal and every ultimates are on, this I think it will be a high ground attempt, I would say. But they need to find out the Tinker. They need Tinker so hard. Yep. Okay. So currently, they goes back to defend. They don't want Terrorblade to get on the trade anymore, because they know that the trade is not really working well against them, as they are continue on to be a dominant position. They shouldn't let it go any tower and give opportunity, probably even any opening for the Team Radiant. So Team Radiant continue to suffer from all this. Let me see. Okay. Let's see. Yep. Of course. Yep. I actually sees a lot of wow, a lot of comments coming in. Yes, I believe definitely the players know what are they doing. Oh, what's actually happened? Once I just come back and both hero already dead. Oh, and X diving into the T3. He wants his Tinker and he gets the blink. He calls and the tiny connects with the avalanches and the toss. And yes, that's a dead Tinker inside his own base. They don't even need to go on the high ground, but the Terrorblade third skill comes out. They want to get back a kill, and Hero gets back on the tiny, and just the Arc Warden kills on the VS. The freezing field as well. Will the Terrorblade survive from this? Yes, he will. But the Tinker buys back instantly to defend his base. I think everything still works fine. In the beginning, I think Tinker maxed out his first 2 because he wanted to get on the kill. But seems that team opponent actually played better, so now he are trying to secure spec on his farm. So let's just hope that TB and Tinker can recover from it, because if this game managed to drag on, I think we can still see a pretty equal fight. Probably it's 40 to 60 now, but we can see an interesting fight because Enigma, you have a most dominant ultimate ever, the black hole. If you can catch probably 3, I mean if you can catch all the cores inside, of course it would be the best scenario. And you have the silencer with the global silence. You can stop everybody from casting skills unless he has the BKB.
Radiant's top
So
tower
at this
is under
part of
attack.
time, it's really up to them to decide. So Shadowblade X is already in front, trying to find out the prey. Any prey that they could find, they just want an opening, and that is it. They will get any kill.
Invisibility.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So Terrorblade, knowing that he
Radiant's top
cannot do
tower is
anything,
fallen.
he will just goes to farm out on the opponent NC. Very wise decision indeed. At least gets on his BKB online before the final war comes out. And he knows that he can leave the lane and the base for Tinker. But the only hope now is for Tinker to defend. So Tinker is the last hope. Tinker, you need to defend the base. If there's anybody who dive on the Tinker, you need to swap off the Tinker, because Tinker do not have any buys back at the moment. And I would say this Terrorblade is a very wise player. He knows when to farm, especially he knows that all of the opponent are already in their base. That's why he finds his own opening, gets on the farm, prevent himself from getting caught. Nobody's going to notice him. Wonderful play. Well, faces Void and Team X, they're just kind of confused, you know. They're just trying to catch out the Terrorblade because they know that Terrorblade is not there. The last guess is like Terrorblade is probably inside the base. Well, Terrorblade just managed to find his own farm outside the jungle. And Arc Warden, I think he will know something is up, because he just passed by all the jungle and now he found on the Terrorblade. But yeah, immediate TP out from the Terrorblade. Wonderful play. And for that, he managed to get like just 1000 left to the BKB. As long as he doesn't get any chrono or the down, he can just BKB and Sunder out of his way. And, you know, probably we can just see another good fight. And Enigma doesn't seems like going for the Blink Dagger yet. He decided to go for the Guardian Greaves first. Wow. He just wants his teammate to sustain because there's a swap, there's a Sunder. He wants to make sure that his teammate can sustain, and then the Black Hole only comes out. Excuse me. Alright, and now bottom lane. Arc Warden is already trying to scrapping through the tower using his illusion and the second skill, Magnetic Field. He's actually scrapping the tower one by one, and now the tower is already a quarter HP is gone. They're just going to do the same thing. I don't think they are going to commit on the full force because top lane CM is at the top, and yes, constantly using the Arc Warden illusion to take out the tower. Now another quarter is gone. It's already half HP. If this goes on, I don't think the tower is going to last long. But that's the only thing that they could do, hiding inside the base, because if they were to commit fully, who knows, it could turn out to be a disaster, and who knows, it could just be a straight away high ground from them. But no matter how, they just wait for the TB to farm out his BKB first. At this moment, Team Dire just wanted to control on the lane completely. They just don't want to give them any opening. They just want to camp out every single lane. Very interesting game. Next attempt again by Arc Warden with the illusions coming out. Even despite Tinker constantly laser, and the march, but still, I think this is the dead tower. And the Aegis of the Immortal is gone already, but the Faceless Wall already managed to get on the help. Oh, the Tinker blinks inside, one of the kills on the Silencer. First be the illusion, and the Frost comes out to connect. The Tiny Willy goes down, the Metamorphosis comes out from the TB, which means that they might commit for this fight already. But no, not a single kill yet. That is not looking good. And Faceless Sword with the heart completed, 2.7k HP. This is it. The high ground attempt. Arc Warden with the illusion. He wants to go behind. Goes on to cut on the back row. But no, he know that he couldn't catch anybody. So he will just goes for the ranged Rex. And X. Well, he goes in front. Blinks in front. Nope, he just don't want to commit yet. They just want to play safe. So both lane walking around, and X decided to go in front with the blaze, and the global silence comes out as well, and the black hole wall goes on the ass, but he immediately cancels. What a play, what is it? And the Thunder with the BKB, action Dota King, big Thunder heading out, everybody's so focusing so hard on the Terrorblade with the BKB, he will goes down at the top, no buyback from the Terrorblade yet, but the Faceless Wall already goes down, Silencer immediate buyback, and the Anima Wars goes down as well. Tinker managed to hide in the behind, yes, 2 hero has dead, and Tinker just casually closing out with the silence and the laser, and 3. What is this? 3 cores are down. If we look at a buyback, it's like 3 buybacks
Dire's middle tower
for 3 cores. Nothing much for the exchange. Despite 3 buybacks, it's only like 200 gold swing. I would say this is indeed a very wise play from the Team Radiant. Despite having the heart, despite being leading by 25k, they still managed to hold on their base. Impressive play indeed. Wow. That's why I say Dota is very interesting. It's like, despite leading so much, they couldn't march through. They couldn't find an opening yet. The Terrorblade, you know, it's only like level 14. If you look at the level, Action is already level 20. But he managed to get on his BKB right on time. He managed to get on his Thunder before the Chrono Spear. Everything just works so well for Team Radiant. And Team Dire just needs another round of Aegis before they can go for the high ground attempt. Because if they did another mistake, Team Radiant could just exploit and could just recover so fast. And you can see Team Radiant can actually recover from the map already. They are actually farming on their own jungle, farming further already.
Dire
This
are scanning.
is totally different compared to the first 10 minutes of the game, like first 20 minutes. Tiny, will they meet each other? Nope, nope, nope. Anyone yet? Tinker, yes. Just trying to test out whether is there anyone hiding in the bush. Silencer, yep, farming for the first stuff so that he can save his teammate from the X-Call probably, or the Chrono. I'm kind of curious at the meantime. It's like you are phasing for heroes that have global silence, but you don't want to buy out the BKB. Kind of surprised. I mean, if you don't buy a BKB, you could just actually fall for the global silence and you could do anything. I mean, you can't do things, you know, without the
Dire's
BKB.
structures
You can
are
just
fortified.
stuck inside the black hole and you can just stuck inside the global silence.
Get some.
So, uncontested Roshan, 32 minutes, 14 to 26. Another round. Okay. Yes. This Roshan have Aegis and Keys. Let's not just forget.
Roshan has fallen to the
Cheese
dark.
probably goes down to the hands of X. No, it was Arc Warden in fact. I mean, with this, I think Arc Warden can dive through. Yep. Terrorblade has takes up the double damage rune. Kind of who knows, this double damage rune can be a savior of this entire game. And Aegis of the Immortal goes down. They will now, everybody camping around bottom. Bottom lane will now be
Radiant's
the
top
deciding
tower is under
path.
attack.
Tinker already have the Scepter. Team Radiant decided to goes
Radiant's
on
bottom shrine is under
the
attack.
shrine first. One more shrine, not taken down yet, but yep, they were just
Radiant's
wanted
bottom
to for
shrine
this one.
has fallen.
I mean, I'm kind of surprised they go for the MKB, they go for the heart. Why not they just go for the
Dire's
BKB?
turret has been
If you
killed.
go for the BKB, you don't need to afraid of you don't need to afraid of the march. You don't even need to
Radiant's
afraid
bottom
for
barracks are under
the blind
attack.
and everything. It's okay. And now, wow, they just goes inside and the blinks in front, the call and the global silence comes at right time. The swap save on the Enigma and the Rageful not going down yet. Wonderful play, but the global silence already be committed and the blink toss runs away immediate force off. Everybody just goes on the retreat, but the Arc Water Illusion blinks to the front, wanted to get on the kill, but the Hurricane Pipe will send him off the magnetic field. And now the Chronosphere goes in front, the Terrorblade will goes down, immediate buyback, it only triggers the Aegis of the Immortal of the Void, and now two heroes already dead in the meantime. Tinker wants to go in front, the Black Hole comes on time, the kills on the Faceless Void, but it's not enough yet, and the Sunder before he's dead, and he knows he needs to use on the BKB, but no, Arc Warden will goes back to safety, and despite one buyback and two calls, three heroes dead, they only lost one in return, which is the Crystal Maiden, and the Team Dire knows that this is the best moment. They will go for more, they will go for this war,
Radiant's
and
bottom barracks are under
definitely this Rex is a free gift already. Arc Warden using his illusion, casually harassing the Terrorblade is already half HP down before even going back into his own fountain.
attack. Radiant's
Oh my god,
fortified.
this is working so bad for Team Radiant. 2% to defend
Radiant's
against
bottom barracks are
5.
under attack.
One lane of
Radiant's
Rex is
bottom
now
barracks.
down.
Radiant's
They are
bottom
not
barracks
going
has
back
fallen.
to retreat. They wanted to go for more. They know there is only 2% left. They wanted to go for the middle lane.
Radiant's
And
middle tower is under
Tinker the skill is being used. They get caught and now he's doing a lot of damage. What a play by Arc Warden with the illusion, blinks in front, catching the Tinker. And now the Tinker immediately buys back, tries to defend so hard for the T3, but he's not able to do so on a lot of things. This is indeed a good talent up by the Team Dire. The Arc Warden actually gets the 400 flux cast range so that his illusion can find on the Tinker and cast on him. Faces Void getting full HP so fast because of the
Radiant's
heart.
middle barracks
And the
has fallen.
X just Shadow Blade
Radiant's
Mill.
middle barracks are
Oh,
under
this is
attack.
what he has been constantly doing. The Blade Mill goes inside, eating all the damage. Middle lane, Terrorblade goes into the front with the BKB yet. Oh, the Tiny, the BKB.
Tiny blinks in front for the Avalanches, but gets forced back to the safety. The BKB will save him, and the Chronosphere goes into fire. Managed to catch on the terribly. The swap him, goes back to the safety, and the Global Silence comes on time. Will this Faceless Void goes down? No, he will not goes down. The X blinks in fire, managed to cross on through the Enigma. Will gets caught by the Guardian Griff. No, X will go down. The Thunder on the X. And
Radiant's middle barracks
Action
are under
Dota King
attack.
is still yet to survive, but the X decided for an immediate buyback as well. They know that they can go for this fight. The Terrorblade is still there, but it's only last person surviving, and he will go down with a triple kill by Outwarden. And it's now a one-man show with X alone. The call, the battle hunger. This is it, a 5-man down. And I believe this is it.
Under attack.
5 heroes down. There's nothing much they could do. Match has been
Radiant's middle
decided.
tower is under attack.
The throne will goes down. Well
Radiant's
well
middle
played,
tower
well
has
played.
fallen.
Interesting game, exciting play by
Radiant's
Team
middle
Dire,
tower has
17 to
fallen.
36. The GG call is yet to be in, but the throne is now
Radiant's
gone.
ancient is under
GG
attack.
was called. Congratulations for Team Xavier as they proceed to the grand final. They will be the representative for the Team Sungai Long, and stay tuned as they will now face up against the champion from Team Kampar. Alright, so now stay tuned, be right back. Stay tuned for our next match as we wait for the result from the Team Kampar, and then we will commence the best of 3 final for our tournament.